Hi everyone, my name is Paula and I'm back to share with you some more background art journaling techniques. First I wanted to talk a little bit about watercolor pencils because that's what, excuse me, reach for a second. That's what I'll be using today to create this background. So I have a couple things on my table and I'm going to show you some of the differences between the type of watercolor crayons that I have. So to start, here's a good old Stampin' Up! One. I know a lot of you crafters out there may have the Stampin' Up! Brand already in your stash. So I'm just going to compare it to some of the other brands. I've had this one for the longest, that's for sure. So this is just a purple, and I'm going to color a little bit of something there to compare with. My second is a Staedtler brand. Staedtler you can buy at Michael's or any other arts and crafts store. So the same purple, I'm just going to color a little bit of space. This page is not gessoed. So just a heads up there. Next I have a Derwent Aquatone pencil. And what's fun about these is that this is the entire thing, it's woodless. So the entire thing is just color, which is awesome. So you can peel back the wrapper and, use it on its side to create big, bold backgrounds. It's a big pencil. That's kind of one of the downfalls. But Derwent, excellent brand. And I'll be focusing my technique on a Derwent brand here in a second. And lastly, but most specially, I think I just made up another word, guys. Anyways, Derwent Inktense. Now these are wonderful, wonderful creations. It's a water-soluble pencil, but when wet, it's actually an ink. So the colors are so much more vibrant than your regular watercolor pencils. They come in sets. Well, all of these pencils come in sets. But Inktense pencils, here I have a 24 set plus some of the ones that I've bought singly. You can buy them at singly in art stores if you don't want to buy them in a set. I recommend going to AC Moore and getting the 24 color set with a coupon. Michael's sells the 12 color set, so that's a good start as well. Absolutely wonderful. So again, we have Stampin' Up!, Staedtler, Derwent Aquatone, and our Inktense. So this is just a regular water brush that I'm going to just demo here with. You can use just a regular brush and water, whatever you have. So I'm wetting the Stampin' Up! And I'll just slightly fan it out. And you guys might not be able to see this because of my lighting. It's actually a very beautiful day here in Toronto where I live. I'll hold it up to the camera here in a second. Secondly is the Staedtler. Staedtler has, in my opinion, a little bit more pigment than the Stampin' Up. It's showing up a little darker, obviously, because it's a slightly darker purple. Third, we have the Derwent Aquatones. Remember, this is the one that's completely color, no wood. It's a woodless watercolor crayon. Absolutely love them. Such rich, vibrant colors as well. And lastly, but most fun, is our Inktense. And the Inktense is very, very vivid. And what else is special about these is that once they're fully dissolved, shall we say, wet, you can layer over these with other media. They are permanent once completely dissolved. So if you're wanting to add another layer of acrylic or another layer of Inktense or what have you, the colors won't mix as they will if you blend them in to some of the other watercolor crayons. So as you can see, I just spread just that little bit of color and I can spread it probably close to the entire page. Specifically if I had a brush, let's get out a brush here that I was using. Specifically if I had a brush, a flat brush to pull it across. So you can get different tones, right, depending on how much you work with it. So just like anything, just like some of my prior vids, I truly like to show you guys what the differences of some of these are so you can make that educated choice when you're shopping for your art supplies. So again, the top, Stampin' Up, still very, very wonderful color. The second one is the Staedtler brand. The third one is the Derwent Aquatone. And finally, the Inktense. Now, the Inktense probably isn't a true rendition because this is Violet Inktense that I'm using, because I spread it out much more than I spread out some of these other colors. So let me just quickly change that, get out my water brush. I just love water brushes, so travel friendly, and at the same time, they are more precise, I shall say. So much darker of a color you can see with the Inktense. Turns into a water-soluble ink. All of them are fun. I have all the different kinds because they do slightly different things. So again, just take that with a grain of salt, if you will, and hopefully that helps you decide which color of pencils you want to invest your money on. So I'm going to flip over, and you may ask what journal I'm using this time. I bought a Strathmore visual journal. This is a mixed media paper journal. I find that the paper is slightly heavier than the mixed media journal by Canson, but this is the first time I'm using it with you guys. Can you imagine? So this type of Strathmore visual journal comes in watercolor paper, poster board paper, and a mixed media. So you can, I think there's a sketch one too, if I remember correctly. It's got a very nice cover. All of the covers look the same. There's some circles on there. Very heavy cover. They come in different sizes. Michael's, that I have found, only carries this size, which is 5.5 by 8 inches. But you can get big 8.5 by 11 big guys. AC Moore, I've seen them in the US. So what I've done to prepare for this background technique is the same gesso texture technique, which is the video before this one. So if you haven't watched how to create the simple gesso technique, please go back one video and watch that. So from here, I'm going to take my Inktense pencils. I'm using Iris Blue, and this is the fun part. You're just going to scrub and color all over. Now, as you can see, because the gesso is textured, a lot of pencils being used. But guys, to get some really cool effects, you gotta really use your supplies. And this took me a long time to really grasp, because I want to hoard my stuff. I mean, any of you that have seen my art room videos, you can really see that I like to hoard. But using your stuff, you will create such wonderful things. And you can always buy more. It took me a while to figure that part out. Is that if I use it, wow, I can always buy more. Specifically with supplies like this. Now, maybe not my hoarded 7 Gypsies paper, but you know, this type of supply you can buy more of. So don't be afraid to really use them. So I'm just scribbling all over my background. So maybe that one, I'm going to use a blue, and I'm going to go in to get that violet that I was using before. These are both Inktense pencils made by Derwent. Derwent is a UK-based company, and I have a lot of their products. Colorsoft colored pencils, Inktense. I have some of their metallic watercolor crayons. Oh, guys, those are wonderful. You can buy them at Michael's with a coupon. And this is all of that is in the art supply section. But you can use all of these different pencils for coloring in your stamp designs, if you're making cards or that type of thing. I mean, don't be afraid of artist grade materials when you're doing your regular crafting. All right, so back over here. I did use golden gesso again for this because I find it not as gritty, and I just like the smoothness of it. I do have the Liquitex Basics gesso, and it's like sandpaper to me. You can actually sand it with sandpaper to make it smoother, but sometimes I just don't have the patience for that. So golden gesso, definitely one of my favorites. So continue coloring. You want a lot of color for this technique. And so I've got two colors on the go here. A blue and a purple. So maybe I'll just choose another shade of purple, like this really fun fuchsia color. Oh, it's actually called fuchsia. Look at that. And just again, color randomly in some random areas. Color randomly in some random areas. Oh boy. I actually shared this technique a while ago on my Ustream shows, and lots of times I forget all the techniques I share on Ustream live. I forget to make YouTube videos of them. So I'm going to try to be really going to get better at doing that and sharing with you guys. But of course, you're always welcome to come over to Ustream and watch me over there. I actually have a class going on tonight over there at 9 Eastern Standard Time. We're making the flag book, and if you look through some of my recorded videos, the flag book is in there. And I'm going to create the flag book so that it can hold ATCs and display ATCs. So I'm really excited about that. Hope you can join me. All right, I think we've got enough scribbles on the go here. So again, it's just scribbling. I'm just applying color. All right, guys. So I'm going to take a flat brush again. I just like flat. I think it's just a preference though. And look already how vivid that is. You can go any way with your water. It's a willy-nilly over here. Look at how bright and wonderful that is. So you want to leave some puddles. You want to use lots of water. You can see the purple mixing with the blue. A little bit of that fuchsia coming through. I mean, look at just how gorgeously bright that is. So, I mean, you cannot go wrong with these pencils. You'll be addicted. I originally bought the 12 color set at Michael's and then had to end up buying the 24. And they actually have a 72 color set at Dick Blick's, which I am lusting over. All right, so as you can see, I got a little bit of puddle. See a puddle there, puddles over there. You want to have, especially on the outside of your pages, quite a wet page. Because what we're going to do, building off of the technique from my last video, is take this book and close it. Now, so that the paint doesn't run down into the spine, I'm holding it this way. Especially if you're using a moleskine. Moly. That's all I'm going to say is moly. You don't want it to run too far into the binding. So now I'm just going to open it up. And you'll get some beautiful random. You can have some drippage there. Sorry guys, I wasn't showing you. You can drip it down the other way. Say, I don't know if I like that design. And do it all over again. Maybe wipe it, press it down a little bit further. Open it again. I like the drippage. I like to see it running down the page here. You can always add glimmer mist at this point. Let's see what happens. I just happen to have Adirondack color wash. And this is something fun about my Ustreams, guys, is that I'll just have something random on my desk and say, well, I wonder what's going to happen with that. So let's just, this is Adirondack color wash in Sunset Orange. And I'll just spray it kind of randomly and see, oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So maybe this time I'll fold it over again, see what happens. I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I love art journaling is there are no rules and it's a wonderful, safe place for you to play. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. And I love all the random designs that you get. I thought I had a cap. Anyway, this is just water, so you can spray some water to help it move it a little bit if you like a little bit more drippage. I'm dripping down the other side that you guys can't see. And I can drip it down this side. So don't be afraid of playing with your supplies. And come join me on Ustream on Wednesday and Saturday nights. So what I'm going to do is heat set this real quick so that you can see the final product. While I'm doing that, talk a little bit about Inktense blocks. I am lucky enough, I'm going to heat my gun. I was lucky enough to win some Inktense blocks from Derwent in the UK. These are not in Canada or North America yet. They will be out in April. I'm just moving my heat gun around, guys. Kind of helps spread the spray and the water and the ink a little bit more. So what the Inktense blocks are woodless Inktense pencils. I'm trying to do both at the same time here, but I want to make sure that you can hear me properly. So I'll let this air dry for a second here while we talk about the Inktense blocks. So I was lucky enough to win a set of 12 from Derwent on Twitter. So if you're not following me on Twitter, join me over there, JournalArtista. You never know when there's some good giveaways like this. You'll see me tweet about it, and then maybe you can win as well. This is a 12 set. They do come in 24. So this is this wonderful, luscious pencil without any of the wood. I'm going to get my moleskin journal over here so that I can show you. If you don't use gesso, specifically in a moleskin, with the same technique, this is what happens. The water just sinks in. As I would say, that's bad news. But with your Inktense blocks, you can create such amazing washes really, really quickly. So look for them, guys. Coming out in April here in North America. I'm going to do a few more streams about these, but don't let it stop you from buying the pencils, because you'll definitely want both. Wonderful, yummy, luscious stuff. Okay, and they're not paying me to say this, guys. Nothing like that. It's just I love them. It's an addiction. So here we go. Wonderfully vibrant. If you want to look at a spot that doesn't have the color wash on it, you can see the blues and the purples there. So you could just leave it like that, or play around with some of your sprays and have them blend and turn into something wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'll be around YouTube more. Hopefully you'll come visit me over on Twitter. My blog is, of course, www.messymindcreativesoul.blogspot.com. And my Ustream link will be below. So have a great day, everyone. Much love.